Welcome to the Verdin Sports Show. I'm your host, Jacob Verdin. I got my guy, G Sports, in the cut. Back in Tiger Stadium. You're 2-0. We 1-0 this week, but you're 2-0 collectively. It wasn't the prettiest game. You didn't cover the spread. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. We tried. It was a big one. This was a weird week, though. You got Florida getting upset. Clemson was breathing heavy a little bit. This is kind of what happens in week 2. Like, sometimes you thinking you're a little bit more ahead than where you are, and then you get punched in the mouth and set back to reality. It's all right. You're going to just get a little lesson, get a little bit of learning in. What were some of the takeaways from today?
The red zone wolves.
Yeah.
Getting in the red zone 3 times and only being able to come away with field goals against Louisiana Tech. No disrespect to them, but you got to be able to put 7 on the board.
100%.
They left a lot of plays out there. I thought the running game inside the red zone was not that good. That was pretty disturbing. It kind of reminded me of what you saw last year when they got inside the 5 or close on a 2 or the 1 yard line and couldn't punch it in. You know, that's something they're going to have to really work on, bro, because when you get in the SEC, you know it gets really tough down here in that red zone. If you can't do it against Louisiana Tech, how the hell you going to do it against Clemson, Florida, Georgia, the A&Ms of the world? It's going to be extremely tough. I thought Nuss missed a lot of throws tonight. I thought it started off on the first drive of the game where they tried to throw the wheel route and he underthrew him. And then the Louisiana product, former Edna Carr, standout Michael Richard off the tip, interception. That was the start of a long night for the offense. It was a long night for the offense, man. They just couldn't get it going. Aaron Anderson and Barry Brown had some bright spots for sure. I think Barry finished the game with like right under 100 with like 96 yards.
Yep, 8 catches, 94.
Yeah, Aaron finished with like 9 catches for like 79, 80 yards, something like that. That was positive to see, but all in all, man, it was very concerning to see how the offense just could not get any type of rhythm throughout the game. And then the last takeaways, bro, Braylon Moore, the center, goes down. You see him on the sideline with a boot. That doesn't necessarily mean it's something serious. It could be precautionary. We'll see. But seeing Trey'dez Green on crutches with the brace on his knee, looking at his facial expression, his demeanor, looking like it could be something serious. I hope it might just be something like a hyperextension. We'll see, but that's my last takeaway that I'm really concerned about for LSU going forward.
Yeah, prayers up for Big 14 because that's your red zone target right there. I mean, Everybody's been clamoring over the height, the frame, the athletic ability. I mean, we saw him in warm-ups. We posted a clip of him jumping up. Dog, it looks like he can dunk on a 12-foot rim. Like, when you got somebody like that in your arsenal, you that much better. So hopefully, he's going to come out and be healthy next week. About Braylon Moore, though, I feel like that's kind of the point when the offense not necessarily got stagnant, but like that's when I started to get a little worried when DJ Chester comes in. Yeah, you got a false start penalty. Do you think that Braylon Moore being out of the lineup with this little banged up injury, is that potentially why the offense kind of got hung up? Or
I for sure think Braylon Moore coming out of the lineup in that first quarter put a damp on the offense. You got to understand, anybody that knows football, the center is essentially the quarterback of the offensive line. They make the checks, they make the calls, they talk about the protection. They play an essential, vital role into the cohesiveness of the O-line. And so when he came out, I think it just changed a lot of things. Joe Sloan probably kept things simple just because DJ Chester hasn't been playing center. You just never know what went into it. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully it's not nothing too serious with Braylon Moore, and hopefully he can be back sooner than later.
I agree. Yes, sir. All right, let's get into some of these notes here. So like you said, offense started slow. Here's some of the things I like, though. So Barry Brown, he's finding his spot. Led the team in the yardage, in the receiving at least. Xavier Thomas, though, I've been liking his role because we were wondering how they were going to use him. Yeah, of course, you got the punt return aspect of it, but they've been putting him in the backfield. They've been letting him hand off. Him and Harlem each got 6 carries. That's been a bright spot as well. I want to talk about the field goals. You miss a field goal right here. You don't go for it on 4th down at the end, and you get that field goal to go up 23-20. I feel like you're trying to build off of those moments, like we were talking about with Brian Kelly, not going for it, not trying to push it, trying to have those game management situations. Do you think that they're making progress in that regard, or do you think that this week is a positive that you could potentially lean forward for Florida next week? Because I feel like if you came in and dropped the 40 ball, everybody's hyping, the momentum's rising. Right now, you got a victory. The team that's coming in took a loss, so there's a little bit of a morale spike. But I can see 2 groups of thought, G. I can see the thought of Florida's pissed off, a chip on the shoulder, and they're coming in and proving like, hey, we still a top SEC team. And I can also see them kind of sleepwalking into this game. What's your takeaway for next week, and do you think that LSU could build off of what happened tonight?
And I know a lot of people looking at Florida and saying they lost today to South Florida and LSU should win this game handily next week. And I don't look at it like that. I think them coming off a loss could be trouble for LSU. They're gonna be super, super motivated. They're not gonna want to come down here to Death Valley and drop 2 in a row. They're just not gonna want that to happen. And so, the bottom line is this: Nuss gotta play better. He gotta play better. All right, you play like that against Clemson. Everybody talking about you could be the essential #1 pick in the draft and Heisman Trophy candidate. You can't play like that against Louisiana Tech, bro. You can't digress like that. You got to be able to handle success and keep that momentum going. And I think when the Florida staff watch the film and they see some things that Louisiana Tech did, they're going to try to use that against him next week. And so hopefully he learns from it and gets better.
I want to build off of this point too. Like, this is something I kind of noticed throughout the game. So yeah, the offense is having struggles. They're punting. There's turnovers. I think 3 of them total in the whole game. The defense at times didn't get that big of a break. They had to come out in shitty field position and just answer the call. And bro, for 99% of the game, it was a shutout. And Blake Baker coached 3 quarters of a shutout in a row, dating back to the Clemson. Actually, 4 quarters in a row because they shut him out the whole second half. Either way, I think that you're walking away here confident that you do have a more collectively sound defense than you did last season. You're going to be able to lean on that in these slow moments when the offense is dragging. So, I mean, at least you've got that going for you. What do you think about Asher Stamps and his role today? I seen him get in. He dropped a pick. He
dropped 2 picks.
2. I didn't
drop 2. He dropped 2. The defense did what I thought they was going to do. I knew they was going to give Louisiana Tech problems. I was mad they had to give up that touchdown at the end. I wanted them to get that donut, but it is what it is. And so going into Florida next week, I expect them to be playing at a high level. Mansour Delane, locked down once again. The pass rush from Patrick Payton, Pyburn, Bernard Gooden up the middle. You saw that continuously all night long. And so the defense is only going to get better. You could tell Blake is getting nasty with some of these coverages and these blitzes he's throwing at him. So DJ Lagway going to be in for a long one next week. Even though I think he's a really, really good quarterback and he could present some problems, I think their defense should be all right, man. It's the offense that's going to have to come to play, bro. They're going to have to give that defense a break. There's no way in the world you can win consistently in the SEC if your defense is playing 55 to 60-some snaps every game. You got to give them a break, bro. You got to stop putting them in bad field position because eventually you're gonna break at some point.
Right. Yeah, you're not going to have an offense like this to be able to go up against. If DJ Lagway is coming out here in plus territory 2-3 times in a row, it ain't going to be as forgiving. That's more than likely what I'm thinking. You're going to find out a lot about LSU next Saturday, G.
I'm very anxious to see what Vegas going to open the spread up at.
Look, if I had to guess, I think that they're going to lean LSU a little bit, especially because you know they're going to be biased off of that loss. I give LSU at most a 5-point spread lean, 4.5.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
When you think about the over and under, where you go?
All right, so this I think is going to play into account because Florida had a slow scoring game, LSU had a slow scoring game. I'll put the total at about 52, 53.
I was going
25.
I was going like in the 40s.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
damn.
I'm going
Like 48.
Yeah, because and the reason why I say that Florida got a good defense, LSU got a good defense. I think with LSU struggle on offense in the first game and against Louisiana Tech, why would Vegas put it in the 50s? And then, no disrespect to South Florida, because they did beat Boise State, which was a top 25 team for first week of the season. They come back and beat Florida. I think they beat them in Gainesville, right? In the Swamp?
Yeah, in the Swamp.
Yeah. So some respect to them, but Florida only scored, 14 points tonight?
Yeah.
Or 15 points or whatever. So I just don't see Vegas put it in the 50s. I think it's going to be somewhere around the 40s. But I know it's going to be loud. It's going to be really, really, it's going to be a nice atmosphere next week, man. I just hope LSU offense knock out them Kings, bro, and kind of getting a better rhythm than they're showing.
Yeah, the biggest storyline going into this week now, I think, is Trey'dez Green.
Yeah.
I think it just got in there. Brian Kelly's probably giving an update right now. We'll post on socials, as per usual. Follow my guy G, at G_sports on Twitter. Got all the links in the description. Click show more. Go click, find your platform, go follow, do the whole thing. This has been the Verdin Verdict. You know where to get all your LSU content. This is the home, G. This is it right here. Tiger Stadium, the real Death Valley. There's no more debate. No more debate. 2-0 this week, Saturday, LSU, Florida. Be there. Best game in the country.
You know it.
It's a blue blood, G. Hey, Floby, if you listening, guess what? I got a stat. I'm sorry. We can't get out of here, bro.
He probably killing Florida right now after that loss.
Yeah, he is, most definitely. Floby, if you listening, I want to tell you this. How is Florida not a blue blood if Florida is leading the series with LSU? They up by 3 wins. And then people are going to say, well, they got vacated wins. 3 of them. So if you take away the 3 wins, they would still be tied.
Yeah. Good
Something
point.
to think about.
Good point.
Food for thought. Y'all have a good one. It's been a Verdin Verdict.